Okay, good morning class. Have a seat. Right, we were busy with functions. Not so. We're wrapping this chapter up, no? We had exercise 5.21. What did you have to do out of 5.21? 6 to 8. Have I cut it already? Yes. So this is exercise 5.21. Exercise 5.21, page 172. Huh? 177. Didn't it start at 174? Yeah, then you just say 174. So that's where the exercise starts. Okay. I know the sum in particular is on page 177. Alright, so let's look at number. Stop doing that please if you don't mind. Wherever it is. Okay, so the diagram represents the graph of y is equal to f of x equal to negative open bracket x minus 2 squared plus 4. Y is equal to, so that's the parabola graph. Not so. With the turning point where the turning point being at 2 and 4. We can read it off from this graph here. Not so. And y is equal to g of x equal to 2 to the x plus 1 minus 4. That's your exponential graph with the horizontal asymptote, which is going through coordinates of f and g with the y value of minus 4. Not so. The equation of that asymptote is y is equal to minus 4. The first question is determine or calculate the following. OE. People, what is E? E is your x-intercept. And O? Also x-intercept. But O is fine, we know that's your origin. Okay, so to calculate E, I'm going to work out our x-intercept. What do? We let y equal to 0. Since that is your x-intercept of your parabola, I need to use f of x. Okay, so 0 is equal to negative open brackets x minus 2 squared plus 4. If I get over the equal sign, so x minus 2 squared is equal to 4. Introduce square root, what will I do? Add plus minus. So x minus 2 is equal to plus minus 2. If I get 2 over, so x is equal to 2 plus minus 2. So x equal to 2 plus 2, 2 minus 2 is 0, or 2 plus 2 is 4. So this coordinate of E is 4, of course. Not so. So therefore the length of OE is going to be 4 units. Okay. Then I want to know OD. What is D to us? D is the y-intercept. How do you calculate y-intercept? With x equal to 0. Of which graph is this? So the g of x graph. So you say g of 0 is going to be 2 to the 0 plus 1 minus 4, which is 2 to the 1, which is 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So therefore, what is the length of OD? Sorry? 2 units. People, length can't be negative. Not so. But the coordinates of D of course is 0 and minus 2. Okay, any confusion thus far? No? And then C is the OC. So what is C to us? X-intercept. X-intercept of what? Of G of X. X-intercept let y equal to 0. Since it's the g of x graph, so 0 is equal to 2 to the x plus 1 minus 4. The 4 over becomes positive 4. Not so. 2 squared is 4. So 2 to the x plus 1. When bases are the same, exponents are equal. Therefore, x plus 1 is equal to 2. X is equal to 1. Have I answered the question? No. Therefore, OC is going to be 1 year. Okay. Then BC. Okay. So BC, people, is going to be what? The distance between two graphs. Not so. Provided that the straight line is on top of the exponential graph. Can you see that? So in other words, your parabola, did I say straight line now? The parabola is on top of the exponential. So I'm going to say f of x minus g of x. Okay. That would simply give us negative open brackets x minus 2 squared plus, that's going to give us 8 minus 2 to the x plus 1. Okay, if you wanted, you could have multiplied this to here. Okay. So what we do? We substitute the x value at this point, which is what? X is equal to? What's the x value here on this line? 1. So if we assume x up to 1, the length of BC is going to be negative 1 minus 2 squared plus 8 minus 2 to the 1 plus 1. There's going to be negative 1 plus 7. 7 minus 4 is 3. So it's going to be 3 units. Is that correct?
Yes.
Right, and then let's look at F. F says FG. Okay, we need the space here. The length of FG. Now, we know that the equation of this line is y is equal to negative 4. Where do we get that? From the horizontal asymptote. Not so? So we need to calculate the coordinates of that line. By doing the coordinates, then I can subtract the two values. Not so? The 2x value. Because the y is constant. Okay. So we know that to work out your x values at point F and G, we set the graph equal to negative 4. Or we can say this is also a point of intersection of the two graphs. Of the graph of y is equal to minus 4 and y is equal to negative open brackets x minus 2 squared plus 4. That's the point of intersection of those graphs. Okay, so we say negative 4 is equal to negative into x minus 2 squared plus 4. Okay, so we take that over, so it's going to become x minus 2 squared equals 8. Otherwise, you could have multiplied it out, get a quadratic, use a quadratic formula as well. That would have been fine as well. No? So that's going to be x minus 2 is equal to, I'm applying the square root, so it's plus minus, so it's plus minus 2 root 2. Take the 2 over, so x is equal to 2 plus minus 2 root 2. Okay, so which one is going to be the f? The f is going to be 2 minus 2 root 2 and minus 4. And g, of course, is going to be 2 plus 2 root 2 and minus 4. So to get the distance of GF, since the y's are the same, we just subtract the two f values, the x values. So it's going to be 2 plus 2 root 2 minus 2 minus 2 root 2. Y bracket, because there's more than one term following a negative sign. Multiply this in, that of course cancels, give you an answer of 4 root 2 units. If you want, you can punch in the calculator and get the decimal equivalent of that. Okay. Okay. Any confusion here? No clarity needs to be given in on any of these questions. Then you have to do number 7. Number 7, we are told that the graphs of g of x equals, I need this here as well first. Check that it's not behind the calculator. Move it over a bit. Okay. So here we are told that the graphs of g of x equals 2x minus 5 and f of x equals x squared minus 4x minus 5. Okay, so we have two graphs there. Okay. So doing so you can maximize the writing space. So the question says, give the coordinates of S the y-intercept of both graphs. That is simple. So what's the coordinates of S? Since that is your y-intercept, we let x equal to 0. As you can see in both cases is minus 5. Your constant in both cases is your y-intercept. So S is going to be 0 and minus 5. Okay. B. B says write y is equal to f of x, which is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5 in the form of. So what we need to get it in that form of a into x plus b whole squared plus q. We need to complete the square. So we are given f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5. So f of x is equal to x squared minus 4x plus a number minus the same number minus 5. What is the number in this case? It's going to be b times half, which is 4 times half, which is 2. And 2 squared is 4. Okay. So f of x equals x minus 2 squared minus 9. Okay. So what is the coordinates of v? I don't think they asked you this here. What's the coordinates of v? You can take it from here. It's going to be 2 and negative 9. Okay. C. Hence, give the equation of the axis of symmetry of f. The axis of symmetry, of course, is that line is going through the center of the graph like that. Okay, with your symmetrical line, which means to say you can, if you fold the graph closing that line, the left hand side will fall exactly onto the right hand side. Okay, and what's the equation of that line? X is equal to 2. Alright. Let's look at D. Calculate the coordinates of R, the x-intercept of G. How do you calculate x-intercept? X-intercept, let y equal to 0. And this is the graph of G of x. Okay. So G of x is going to be 0 is equal to 2x minus 5. So negative 2x is equal to negative 5, so x is equal to 5 over 2 or 2.5. Have I answered the question? No. Therefore R is going to be 5 over 2 and 0. Okay. That is D. Let's look at E. Calculate the coordinates of P and Q. What is P and what is Q? Those are the x-intercepts of what? Of the parabola. So let y equal to 0. So that's belonging to the graph f of x. So we have 0 is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5. Trinomial x and x, 5 and 1, minus plus. So x is equal to 5 or x equal to negative 1. Have I answered the question? No. So what is the coordinates of P? Negative 1 and 0. What's the coordinates of Q? 5 and 0. Remember, if they ask for coordinates, you must give it in coordinates. Okay. Any confusion here? Right? If calculate the coordinates of T. What is T? T is the point of intersection of the two graphs. So what do? We set f of x equal to g of x. We're doing simultaneous equations. This is what we are doing here. Take everything to one side since it's quadratic, so it's x squared minus 6x. And that of course cancels. Factorize, we don't divide it by x because we will be losing a solution. So x is equal to 0 or x is equal to 6. Why am I having 2 points or 2 x values? They have 2 points of intersection. X is equal to 0 is already accounted for then at 0 and minus 5. It's another point where the two graphs meet. So of course x is equal to 6 is the one I'm interested in. How do I calculate the corresponding y value? By substituting 6 into the straight line or the parabola. G of 6 is equal to 2 times 6, which is 12 minus 5 is 7. Therefore t is going to be 6 and 7. Okay. Any confusion there? No? G. G, they want to know which values of x is g of x less than 0. So what type of graph is g of x? A straight line graph. Less than 0, you see this line here, y is equal to 0. Less than 0 is below this graph. Okay? So it's going from that direction. Can you see that? This here is less than 0. So in other words, x has to be less than 500. You guys understand? So those of you who can't see it, or refuse to see it, because that's fairly simple. Remember, this x-intercept here was 2 over 5 by calculation. Okay, it was D's answer. So if you got y is equal to 0, if they say less than 0 here, that means you say it's below the line. So as you can see, at 2.5 is equal to 0, less than 0 is this part of the graph, which means to say x must be less than 2.5 or 5 over 2. Okay, for 2.5. The h, they want to know is f of x less than or equal to g of x. I'm going to take this information from this graph here. Then remember that the 6 and 7, that's what I need. Okay. So where is f of x less than or equal to g of x? Or where the g of x graph is on top of the f of x graph, or the f of x graph is under or beneath the g of x graph. Can you see that, people? So, is f on top or below here? It's on top. Can you see that, people? F is on top. Okay, here, is f on top or below? Sorry, we must look where f is below, sorry, no? Sorry, am I highlighting the wrong part here? We're going to look where f is below. Here, f is on top, yes. Here is f below, yes, it's below from 0 till an x value of 6. Continuous or break-in solution? Continuous. In other words, x must be greater than 0 but less than 6. Okay. But since it's an equal sign here, is the graphs equal at 0? Yes. Are the graphs equal at 6? Yes. So there we go. Okay. Is that it? Huh? cut number 8. Alright, let's cut number 8 quickly. Okay, this is number 8.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Alhamdulillah, sir. Okay, so we are told the graphs of the functions are given. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 12x. And g of x is equal to ax plus q. Okay. The two graphs intersect at O, which is the origin, and C. D is the turning point of the parabola. The two graphs intersect at O and C. Oh, I'm reading again. A parabola, and DE is parallel to your x-axis. Yes, parallel to your x-axis or perpendicular to y, the same thing. And CD is parallel to your y-axis or perpendicular to your x-axis. With F on the x-axis, yes, which is there. Question says, determine the coordinates of B. Determine the coordinates of B. Okay, put your number. Okay. Determine the coordinates of B. So if we look at B, people, what is B? B is your x-intercept. Not so of the parabola. So how do you calculate x-intercept? We let y equal to 0. And it's of the parabola, which is f of x. Okay? So we have 0 equals 2x squared minus 12x. We take out 2x as a common factor, x minus 6. So x equal to 0 or x equal to 6. The 0 and the b is the 6. Now so what's the coordinates of b? 6 and D. The coordinate for question B, the coordinate of D. What is D to us? Turning point. How do you calculate the turning point? Axis of symmetry, which is minus b over 2a, which is negative. Minus 12 over 2a is 2, which gives me 3. Is that correct? We now substitute that back into the formula. So we got 2 into 3 squared, which is 6 times 3 is 18. 18 minus 2 times 3, which is 36. Giving an answer of negative 18. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So it's going to be 3 and negative 18. Okay. So D is 3 and negative 18. Okay? Any confusion? No? It was a very important exercise, hence you see me spending so much time on this. Not because I just want to become better at it, no. It's because of the importance of it. Okay. The coordinates of C. How do you calculate C? Okay, C is also the point of intersection. If CF is 10 units. CF is 10. So what does that mean to us? If CF is 10, then the coordinates of C is what? The coordinates of C is x and minus 10. That's so, because if CF is 10, CF is parallel to your y-axis, so it has a y reading. Not so. From this point to y0, from f y0, it's dropping by 10, so it's going to be minus 10. So what do? We set minus 10 equal to the, we can substitute either into your f of x or into your g of x. But at this point, g of x is not defined. You see that the equation is not defined. Okay, so we must substitute that into the f of x graph. So we substitute y is equal to negative 10 into f of x. So negative 10 is equal to 2x squared. Remember, I'm trying to calculate x here. So 0 is equal to 2x squared minus 12x plus 10 divided by 2. So 0 is equal to x squared minus 6x plus 5. Trinomial. X and x, 5 and 1, minus minus. So x is equal to 5 or x is equal to 1. Why am I having two values in it? There's 2 points on the graph where it has a y value of minus 10. Hence that being 1 and the other. Can you see that? And this point here is the 1, while this is going to be the 5. And it's of course 5 is on the right hand side of this axis of symmetry, which is 3. All makes sense, people? Yes. Okay. So what's the coordinates of C? C is going to be 5 and negative 3. Okay, you probably need this soon. Okay. Then the question says calculate the value of A and Q. Now where does A and Q fit in? A and Q is the equation of G of x. What is your Q value? 0. How do we know that? It's going through, the straight line is going through the origin. So immediately we can fill in Q. Q has a value of 0. Sorry, no? Hello? Yes? Okay, so how do we calculate A? A is our gradient, not so? How do you calculate gradient? y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Remembering that is 0 and 0 here, and this is 5 and negative 10. Those are the 2 points I'm using. Why am I using those 2 points? Because the straight line is going through that parameter. Okay, so we got negative 10 minus 0 over 5 minus 0. It gives you an answer of negative 2. So therefore, you have an equation of y is equal to g of x, which is equal to negative 2x plus 0, which is negative 2x. Okay. Or you could have said, okay, since your Q value is 0, what I could have said was y is equal to ax. Since it's one unknown, I just need to substitute one point that's lying on this graph, which is 5 and negative 10. You couldn't have used 0 and 0 again. Okay, so that's a y is negative 10, a times 5. A then works out to be minus 2. Okay? So both ways you could have gotten your A value out. Okay? And often we use the gradient formula. Okay? So we always tend to use a gradient. Y2 minus Y1 over X minus. But you could do it by simultaneous equations as well, as I just did there. Okay? Let's look at E. E, the length of DE. Okay, so if you're looking at the length of DE, I already know what the corresponding Y value is. Not so. What's your corresponding Y value? Negative 18. So some X value I must work out. Not so. But the coordinates of these lying on that straight line that we just calculated, the g of x graph. Not so. So we can actually substitute E, which is x and negative 18, into g of x. Okay? So we got negative 18 is equal to negative 2x, so x is equal to 9. So if this is 9, here, and this x value is 3, then what is the length of DE? So DE is 6. Can you see that? Therefore DE is equal to 9 minus 3, which is 6 units. Do you have to show that 9 minus 3? No. Okay. Let's look at F. If the length of OC, sorry. Okay, so how are we going to work out that length? I can use that. I can do one of two ways. The distance formula or Pythagoras. Either one of the two. Not so. But distance formula is based on Pythagoras as well. No? That is actually derived from Pythagoras. So I'm going to go with the Pythagorean theorem. That length is 10 and 5. So OC squared is equal to 10 squared plus 5 squared, which is 125. The square root thereof is going to be 5 root 5. Okay. They have specified to leave your answer in simplified third form, and I just did. Okay, they had said 2 decimal places. I would have used that calculator and gotten whatever it is. Okay. Then in G, let's change the color now. G, they want to know the area of triangle OFC. So you got OFC. How do you calculate the area of a triangle? So base times perpendicular height. So what's the base here? 5. What's the perpendicular height? 10. Or it could have been a base of 10 and a perpendicular height of 5. Whichever way you look at that triangle too. Okay. So it's going to be half OF times FC. So it's going to be half 5 times 10, which is 25 units square. Okay. The next question, H. Inequalities question. Look at H of x. Sorry, H number 1. You want to know is f of x less than or equal to g of x. So in other words, where is the parabola graph smaller than or below the g of x graph, which is the straight line, or where the straight line is above the parabola, in other words. Okay. So is the parabola, let's go this side. Is the straight line above or below the parabola here? How can it be above? Yes, f of x. It has to be below. Yes, f of x above? Yes, from there to there. Not so. And then the parabola is again above. Can you see that, people? So is that a continuous or breaking solution? Continuous. It starts from 0 to an x value of 5. Can you see that? It's from 0 to 5. Answer. Just represent that in your solution. So what do we say? X must be greater than 0 but less than 5. Are the graphs equal at 0? Yes. Are the graphs equal at 5? Okay. This H2. I. Where is f of x greater or equal to 0? So in other words, you see this is the y is equal to 0 line here. Where is f of x greater than 0? So we're looking above the graph. Not so? So, is this part above the graph? Yes. So is that part there? This part of f below the above the graph? Below, is this graph above? So in other words, x has to be less than 0 or x must be more than. Can you see that, people? The broken solution. The broken solution. So we say x must be less than 0 or x must be greater than 6. It says equal as well. Is the graph equal at 0 to 0? Yes. Is it equal to 0 at 6? Yes. Okay. Next one. With f of x times g of x less than or equal to 0. People, what does less than or equal to 0 mean? Mean to say where the graph is negative. Not so. You meant to say negative, but you say positive. Okay? So where the graph is negative. So, under what condition when we multiply two numbers is it negative? Positive times a negative or negative times a positive. So that means to say one graph must be above this line. So it's positive and one graph has to be below the line which is negative. So, is that the case on the side of 0? No. What do you notice about this graph at this point? Both is positive. Okay? What happens at 0? It's equal to 0 there, not so? And then what does this inequality say? Must be equal to 0 as well. Can you see that? So in other words, for the solution, x is equal to 0. Not so? X is equal to 0. Why? Because at 0, there is 0. Which is part of that solution. Okay? Or, what do you see on this part of the graph? Both is negative. Can you see that? Both is below. Both is below until which point? Till B. From B onwards, you'll see one is above and one is below. Can you see that, people? So from where is that the case? For x is greater than 6. Is it equal at 6? Equal to 0? Yes. One of it must be equal to 0 for that answer to result in 0. So x is greater than or equal to 6 and x is equal to 0. People, that brings us to the end of this exercise. Okay. Have I given you the revision exercise for Tuesday? Tomorrow? Wednesday. Okay. So that is for Wednesday. Okay. Yes. Right, so we'll stop the video at this point. What's the next topic? Sorry? Geometry. Did that tell you sine, cos and area? Right, so that is your next heading. Sine, cos and area.